Hill sponsors Martin vs Joshua on Sky Sports Box Office.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for Eiffel TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. We're at York Hall here for...
You've got off to a T now, without even messing up. You used to stutter when you did it.
Doesn't it? It's like a rhythm.
Do you want some advice on stuttering and messing things up?
Yeah, go on.
I've seen you with that cue sheet.
Yeah, because
You know what? It's not us because he's got you to learn from, Adam, right? And you just haven't taken anything on board.
But natural is the best way. Natural.
What's that? Is that a West Indian accent?
Runny.
Ronnie.
Runny.
Tell him about Rani.
Runny.
His real name is Evenson or
No,
Ivanson,
it's
right?
Ivanson. This is why we changed to Johnny at school.
And then there's a middle name, and that's Rani. Explain the middle name, Johnny.
So it starts off as a bit of a stub story. I didn't meet up with my father until I was 30 years old, and then I said to my dad, "What's with the name?" He said Ivanson was like, it's Ivanson Rani Nelson. So he said I was like a famous fighter back in Dominica. I thought, lie. I said, what about Rani? He said, Rani's a good name. It's after the comedian. I said, what comedian? Rani Corbett. I went, it's Ronnie Corbett, Ronnie. So I can imagine him going into the registrar office or wherever then the register burst, saying Rani, thinking he's saying Ronnie. And he's written it down how it sounds.
Johnny, is that a true story?
That's the true story.
It's a true story. And
I'm after Ronnie Corbett.
As we lost the great Ronnie Corbett this week, it did make me think of Rani.
He's still making us laugh. And that's the honest truth. He said after the comedian. I thought, I don't know any comedian, it's called Rani. No, Rani Corbett, Rani. And I thought, oh.
Sorry, I don't know if you're joking or not.
It's the truth.
It's the truth.
Look at his passport.
Is it no, that's his name because it's on box rack as well,
Have you
actually.
got your passport? Haven't you been down the embassy?
You ain't seen that picture. But that's the truth. That's it. So.
Okay.
And Johnny then?
Yeah, and then Johnny came because Adam tried to pronounce my name earlier on, saying Evenson. It's Ivanson. So I was a bit of a teary kid when I was younger. So when I went to school, the kid was saying Evenson. I said, no, it's Ivanson. So Mrs. Leahy, who was one
Big up Mrs. Leahy.
Yeah, she was one of the teachers.
Ivanson
but she was one of the non-nun teachers, but it's a Catholic school. She said, I know, we'll make a name up just for today because I was a bit teary. And so obviously with the Catholic school, we tried to pick the names of the apostles. So her son was called Morris. He said, let's call it Morris. I said, number one, there's not an apostle called Morris. Number two, no. So we went through Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. No, we've got two Johns. One of the kids shouted Johnny. So because they all started sniggering, laughing, she thought they like it. So they started calling me Johnny from that day. And then what would the kids do? Come and say, Johnny, can I borrow your rubber, Johnny? And that's what they do at school. So I was called Rubber Johnny.
That is disgusting. That is
imagine.
Absolutely disgusting.
I was traumatised. So that's why, when it comes to speaking...
So you could have been called Morris Nelson. Is that true? I'm going to call you Morris from now onwards. I'm never going to refer to you as Johnny Nelson
Do I look
ever
like
again.
a Morris?
Yes.
No, I don't.
100% look like a Morris. Anyway.
Don't look like a Ronnie.
This is the most revealing interview you've ever done with him because
Morris
I mentioned
Nelson.
Rani, the Rani thing.
Morris Rani.
It's all opened up.
Iverson. Anyway.
It's, the mask is down.
Yeah.
Ivanson. You did it. It's Ivanson, not Iverson.
Okay.
Anyway.
You don't even know your name.
Anyway, right. On a serious note, some great news today. Nick Blackwell has been awoken from his induced coma. Hennessy Sports Release said that he's been talking to family and friends. Johnny, I'll start with you. Brilliant news.
From a fighter's point of view, it's great news for Nick. You know, he's pulled through. He showed that fighting strength that's within him. It shows how good and how advanced the boxing board and the medicals at ringside have made sure they rush to make sure previous things that happened before with Michael Watson and Spencer Oliver don't happen again. And you know what? I commend them. I'm so happy for Nick, and I'm also so happy for his family as well, because they've been around to support him as well. So really, really good for him.
Yeah, for Nick, for his family, and for the Eubanks as well, who've had a very, very tough few days too. I was speaking to Robert Smith on Saturday at the Echo, and it sounded as though it would be positive news, that they were keeping him in the induced coma until today. He's come out, he's talking to his family. Obviously there's a way to go, and we in the boxing community all rally round, but it's absolutely superb news. And in a week like this where all the attention is on Anthony Joshua and can he become a world heavyweight champion, to get that news to kickstart the week is just, it's wonderful, it's fantastic. He's a great guy, Nick Blackwell, and I can't wait to see him.
Obviously we'll wait further news of any sort of developments, but he has been awoken from the coma, we know that, and we just pray for more news, good news as we're going along.
Absolutely, it looks like the signs are positive, but as we said, we don't know. We're not doctors, but all the things that we have heard is that it's similar to what happened to Spencer Oliver, what happened. I was talking to Carl Wright at the weigh-in last week, and Carl was saying he'd like to offer support to Gary Lockett and the family of Nick Blackwell as well, because of course he went through it. But it was different with Carl Wright because he collapsed on the way home. It was a long time after the fight. Everything was done in the ring, and I think, like Spencer, it was done in the ring on the spot and fast. And because of that, because they got into the induced coma quickly, I think that it reduces the chances of.
And remember how dangerous boxing is compared to various other thoughts. I think we're the ninth dangerous sport. So this is just one of those things that happens in our sport every blue moon. And I just think, you know what, it can't get any better, it can't get any safer. This just was an unfortunate incident.
Well, we're still praying for Nick, but like I said, things are looking positive. This week, possibly one of the most important weeks in British boxing, we can say. Anthony Joshua bids to become IBF heavyweight world champion after just 16 fights. Many people have their arguments whether this is too soon, is it too risky? A lot of fighters like Carl Froch and Tyson Fury have expressed a concern in a certain way for Anthony Joshua this week. Adam, is it a concern?
Well, it's risky business, isn't it? It's a gamble. It's a calculated gamble, I think, by Eddie Hearn and the team. Anthony Joshua wants these fights. Is he ready for it? It's his 16th professional outing. In his 15th against Dylan White, he had a wobble. He had a problem in the second round, but he got through it. And I think because he got through that, the team then feel, okay, he's had a little bit of adversity and he's pulled through it. He's got tremendous skills. We all know about his power. Everything else, the character, all ticks the boxes to become a superstar for Britain. But is he ready? On the other side, how good is Charles Martin? Is this the right time because Charles Martin, is a sort of fortunate IBF champion after what happened with the win against Vyacheslav Glazkov, or is he the next coming? He's 6'5", he's unbeaten, he's a southpaw, he could be anything. There's a mystique around him. But I think the feeling is that this is the right one for Joshua to take at this time.
And from an ex-fighter's point of view, at first I probably thought like the masses and thought this is far too early for Anthony Joshua. What happens if you do win? Then you're in deep waters. But then you look and you think, if I was in Anthony's position, would I take it? Yes, I would. Any fighter that was put in this position and they were called out by the world champion, and it's possible you could beat that world champion, would they say, no, I'm not doing it yet, and just say, I'm not interested yet, I'm not ready yet, or would they do what Anthony's doing?
Do you think we'd have as many questions, Johnny, if Charles Martin wasn't the IBF champion?
Good question.
If he was just an unbeaten American coming over, we'd seen a bit of him on tape.
It's high stakes, and that's why it's just nervy for everybody. And as I said earlier, come Saturday night, it's not just going to be, I think the boxers will be the coolest couple in the arena because there's so much at stake. It's a big fight where it's not nailed on that Anthony Joshua wins this fight, and so everybody's going to be so nervy with this. And to me, that's what makes the theatre of such a big show. But I just think, if I was Anthony, I would do exactly the same thing. If Carl Froch was Anthony, he'd do exactly the same thing. Tyson Fury, he'd do exactly the same thing. So we can all say it might be too early, but we'd all do exactly what Anthony's
I think, Kugan, it's terrific that Anthony Joshua's taking the risk, and I think it's great that Charles Martin's taking the risk about coming over in his first defence. I think because of what happened with Glazkov, he didn't really feel as though he showed enough that night. He is a world champion. This is his stage. He's coming across to Britain. He's only ever been to England once before for the press conference for a day. He's come back 2 weeks early. He's adapted to the jet lag. He's taken it seriously. This, he says, is his night to come out. Joshua, meanwhile, believes it's his world title to win. That's what we need in this sport.
We saw Gloves Are Off, which aired on Sky Sports 1 yesterday, and I think we've got a little insight into the personality of Charles Martin.
Nice guy, isn't he?
Nice guy, very deep thinking, quite cool, quite collected, and with his words. What did you make from Charles Martin from that?
I like him. He reminds me of Anthony. They're both kind of the same beast, and it's a case of when the bell goes, that's when you see that inner fire, that inner belief, that inner spirit, that want. We'll see whose want and desire and spirit is the strongest, and that's what it is, and that's how even this fight is, because these guys are one match for height, knockout ratio, confidence, ability-wise. I actually think, you know what, depends on how the fight goes. So far, you look and think these guys are at the right time to fight each other. So without the world title being at stake, it'd be a perfect match for both of them, because I just think it works so well.
He's an engaging character, isn't he, Charles Martin? He's been a bit of a nomad around the States. Came from St. Louis. I think he had time in Denver. Fell into sort of Los Angeles life, and he was going to go in the army, and then there was a bit of talent there as a sportsman, and they've developed him, and you know he's done ever so well. And we spent some time with him in Big Bear a couple of days, and he's just, there's something about him. There's something about him that makes me think that he's going to handle this situation, because it's going to be difficult. The O2 Fortress, Joshua territory, and all that. I think he might handle it. I think it'll come down to who's better on the night.
And he said he's used to being an underdog. He's used to it. If you looked when he came out to box, when he was boxing for the world title, the comment was, "Who is Charles Martin?" You know, that he wasn't expected to win. He said he's the one that's always had to fly away and box in everybody else's backyard. So he doesn't mind doing this, and actually rate fighters that are confident enough to go and box in the Lion's Den and still come away with a win, because it makes you stronger than any fighter could possibly be.
He doesn't look like he's going to freeze. He doesn't look like he's that sort of a guy. Now, whether when he's on the end of a Joshua jab or a big right hand, whether that'll be different, because he hasn't really fought many top-class fighters. That's a big question, but I don't think mentally it's going to get to him.
All right, just final question to both of you. How much of a disaster would this be if Anthony Joshua isn't victorious on Saturday night for Anthony Joshua?
I don't think it'll be any disaster, regardless, because number one, you can say it's his 16th professional fight. He could rebuild. It depends on what Anthony Joshua wants to do. He go away and rebuild and polish those edges over the next 12 months, 18 months, and come back an even better fight, which we know potentially he can be. So the only thing the loss will do is affect his confidence for future fights. It wouldn't affect his ability. It wouldn't affect his chance to become a better fighter. So I don't think it's a devastating loss. Obviously, everybody will be heartbroken. But I just think, you know...
Yeah, I mean, was it devastating when Frank Bruno lost to Bone Crusher to Tim Witherspoon, when Lennox Lewis got flattened by Oliver McCall at Wembley in 2 rounds? You know, yes, it's a massive setback. It's derailing, but the character about coming back then comes into play. He came back in that second round against Dylan White. He got the job done. If he loses on Saturday night, I'm sure he has the character to come back from it. But it's probably, in answer to your question, Kugan, it's the manner of defeat. If he gets laid out quickly, that would be harder. If it's a long, hard affair and it's nip and tuck, maybe he just is not ready yet for it. But
I don't want to talk about losing. I don't want to talk about him losing. It's not going to happen. Stop talking foolishness.
I'm not talking foolishness.
I'm just saying.
This is heavyweight boxing.
This is heavyweight boxing.
Yeah,
listen,
Joshua starts favourite.
You lost your first 9 fights, so...
I didn't lose my first 9 fights.
Listen, Johnny.
Why are you getting scandalous now?
If anyone knows
That's
about
liable.
losing
You're
fights...
calling Morris now. You're making up his record. He didn't. He lost his first 3 fights, but he also lost 10 of 13 as an amateur.
Okay.
But look at the end result.
So, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So,
and
you're the best person to talk to about...
Wait, I won a world title in this ring.
Did you?
World heavyweight title.
He did in this ring. The
WBU. I call it the We Believe You belt. But I had.
Do you know what?
Did anyone believe you?
Do you know what?
Doesn't matter. I gave up straight away. I thought, you mad?
Johnny, I was talking to Naz yesterday.
Another heavyweight.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Oi.
That's harsh.
But he's heavyweight.
Have some
He's your
respect.
mate.
But is it
Have some respect.
He called me a heavyweight. If I came out at 20 stone, alright, he's not a
But
heavyweight.
he did slate one of your fights. I can't remember which one it was.
Exactly. So I got
no,
in there
but that's a testament to you had so many
How
of
is
them.
he? We saw him at ringside for Frampton Queen.
Yeah,
Is he coming on Saturday?
I don't know, but we had a long chat on the phone yesterday, and he's good. He's
good.
He's happy, so you know.
That's good. I hope he's here on Saturday. No, yeah, I do hope he's here Saturday.
What do you mean?
No, only because the banter the boys have, he will get some stick for his posture, should I say. So I just think he'll expect it. We all do it. It's banter.
Why are you even talking about that?
Because he would do it to me.
Really?
If I was like 28 stone, double chin, size 18 feet, he'd call me Coco the Clown.
Do you know what?
Do you know what,
I hope
Naz is
he's
still-
there, and I hope he chins you. I swear to
I'd
God.
love to, I'd love
I'm
to
backing
see
him
it.
against you.
Would you like to see
I'm backing
it?
him against you.
Hamid and Nelson had it.
He wouldn't
I'd love
reach.
to see it.
He wouldn't reach.
I tell you, he
Hamid.
could reach with one of his
Oi,
uppercuts.
Hamid would
He
bang
could hit
you
like
out
a mule
inside
as a
90
feather.
seconds.
You know
He's
what?
not a
Right
featherweight
now-
anymore.
you know
Even
what?
now.
You know what? Right now, with the weight he's got on him, he probably would.
Apologise, please.
Do you know what? It's always great to see Naz though, Kugan. He hasn't lost that
Absolutely.
spark, that character.
Naz is cool. He's all right. He gets over it. He's a Sheffield boy through and through. Don't make this Prince business fool you. He's a Sheffield boy through and through.
There's a new
From
Prince in town,
Winterbank,
Prince Charles
Newman Road.
Martin. That's the new Prince.
That's right. He'll be here enjoying himself.
All right, Adam Smith, Johnny Nelson, thanks for talking to Arsenal
Cheers,
TV.
Kugan.
It's just the start of fight week this week. We'll have to see what happens, but workouts today. The queue out there is
It's a
ridiculous.
good cue. And from Morris and I, see you later.
Go on,
You're
Morris.
supposed to be on my team. Why
Go
are you
on,
backing
Morris.
this?
Morris.
William Hill sponsors Martin versus Joshua on Sky Sports Box Office.